Hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Spencer, and I will be your grandioso host for today's episode of Expat Soup. Once again, we're coming to you live here from Jimmy V's in Yangzhou, China, and I'm sitting here with the homie Lee.
Hey.
And today's expat guest is a Mr. Carlos Cardenas. Sorry, off to a good
How'd you
start.
say that again? Cardenas. Cardenas. Okay.
Today's episode is a special one. It's the Stanley Cup hockey episode. So thank you for coming today. So how do you think the Blues and the Bruins? How's that going?
Sorry.
Oh, you're Colombian. Oh, okay. Whoops.
Don't worry, I also had no idea what you
Okay. Okay, gotcha. See, we start off with bad jokes, and then
Just get
as
worse.
we go further, you know,
Down the rabbit hole.
the worst ones sound better. If you start off at the bottom, you know, you can only go up.
All right.
Anyway, so you are Colombian,
Yes.
and what city or province or what are there states there?
So we don't call them by states. We call them by departments. I'm from Bogota. That's the capital city.
Bogota. Okay. So you're a city boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Bogota. So if Colombia in my mind is just kind of like a ball shape, circle shape. There's a few pointy ends, right? But it's
yes.
So Bogota would be where in the
We're in the middle. Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Center. And how big would you say? Like population?
Right now we are 8 million people.
That's good.
So yes, quite big.
Is that for Colombia? How like what's the Colombian population, for example?
right now it's about 47 million people.
Okay. So like
That's a lot of people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not spatially. It's not the largest country in South America.
We have the third population in South America. So
I'm guessing
one
what
is,
Brazil.
Brazil, then Argentina, and then Colombia.
Chile's got to be last, right?
Yeah. Uruguay.
Peru is pretty small.
Uruguay. They got like 3 million people. Very
Okay.
much.
And they still qualify
This
for the
city
World
has more
Cup.
than that. Yangzhou has
Yeah,
5.
Like
yeah.
Chinese standards. But
Yeah.
So South America's like a chicken breast in my mind. Colombia's at the top.
I miss chicken breast, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, China, chicken breast in China is kind of tiny.
That's true.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know if you were talking about the continent or an actual chicken breast.
Both.
Or you missed both, yeah. So Colombia's got some big old chicken breasts.
Oh, well, we got part.
That's not a euphemism, right?
Turkey, the bird turkey comes from South America, Mexico, South America. So they're used to big birds over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
And bird, that's a English slang for
women.
For
yes.
women.
women.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
again
yeah,
very
women.
cultural over here.
That's good. So
Yeah.
it's like
Uh,
you know.
We wanted to make you comfortable, so we'll just
Yeah,
start talking
so-
about hockey and breasts.
I'm just a foreigner.
So for the people who don't know anything about Colombia, what are the bordering countries around Colombia?
Okay, so we got Panama, Venezuela.
That's the little baby up north.
Yeah. Actually, Panama was part of Colombia 100 years ago.
Colombia had a big chunk of South America at one point.
Yeah, exactly. So when we got our independence from Spain, actually Colombia was conformed by Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, and Panama.
Just kind of that northern part was just it had a special name. Can't think of it, but like Gran Colombia,
Gran Colombia or Nueva Granada.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's like we're talking about like 200 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but so like the problem over there in that part of the world is like we got a lot of mountains, so
Right, geographically, it's super diverse.
exactly. So and it's quite difficult to get to one city from another, from one city to
Right. There's
another.
not just exactly some train or.
Exactly, and it's not plain at all. Lots of mountains. So we got the.
Is it the elevation is high? I'm guessing in the
Yeah, for
Andes
instance,
region.
Yeah, for instance, Bogota is 2,600 meters above the sea level.
Oh wow! So it's in that Andes region,
Mm-hmm.
and the capital Bogota you said is in the middle.
In the middle,
Right, so-
yeah. So we got the same weather, same temperature for the whole year.
Is that like logistically favorable, or that sounds like it'd be a difficult place for a capital?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, but don't blame me. Blame the Spaniards.
We
With
can
the
blame them
Span-
for a lot of things.
like most Spanish conquistadors, they were really hot around the 1500s. Is that when Colombia
exactly.
started?
It started.
I mean, of course, you had the natives,
natives,
indigenous
but
people,
they killed pretty much the whole population.
with either their natural diseases
Natural
or
diseases
war.
or war. So and
They were-
diseases from Europe
Yeah.
as well. So
They weren't a very friendly bunch at that
Mhm.
time. the
That's why
Spaniards.
they started to bring like slaves from Africa. So and right now,
There is a African American or
Colombia,
black.
yeah, exactly. So
part
it's
of your-
really diverse.
Yeah. But back to the geography. So you got the Andes kind of running through the middle.
Yeah, actually, the Andes is divided into 3 cordilleras, pretty much. Bogota is-
Cordilleras.
Yeah, cordilleras like a mountain range, and it's divided. Like the Andes starts.
What's a
in-
cordillera? A section?
Yeah, section.
Okay.
Exactly. So Bogota is in the center, Cordillera Central, and so there is one that goes to the west, goes to Venezuela, and
Mhm.
the other one ends close to Panama.
Okay. So, and is there a section of the jungle that creeps in from like Brazil or?
Yeah, from
Does it-
Brazil.
does-
Yeah,
does
we
Colombia
share the-
touch Brazil?
Well, yeah, we share the Amazon forest, rainforest with Brazil, Peru, and Ecuador.
And that's got to be the least populated part.
Yeah.
There's
It's
maybe
it's
a
quite
few
difficult
tribes.
to get there. Yeah, you can get there by plane, by flying.
Right. So there's I can't remember the name of it. But there's a thing where people travel from like the north of Canada all the way down to the tip of what's the southernmost country in South America? Chile and something else.
La Patagonia. I guess it's La Patagonia.
Patagonia.
Chile and Argentina.
Oh, Argentina. Right.
Argentina.
Argentina's got to be the southernmost. So,
Mm-hmm.
but traveling through Canada and America and Mexico, that's got to be easy. But once you hit the rainforest, I mean, what do you? You said there's no plains?
Go around it, right? Or
Yeah,
you
you have. Yeah,
go
so-
by river.
Yeah, exactly. There is a big river, Spaniards use it. So it's the Magdalena River. So that one goes to pretty much the south of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So the Spaniards use it also to bring stuff.
How? Sorry to cut you off, but how much are you into or know about the not ancient history, but the beginning of the country?
Well, I'm pretty good about history.
Okay.
So
All right.
So,
Hold
like,
on.
so what can you tell me about when the Spanish first arrived?
so they arrived to Santa Marta.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first city that they established in the north and on the Caribbean region.
Yeah.
They start so they were after El Dorado, it's like the city of gold.
City of gold,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Which is in Colombia, right? That you live there,
I
right?
don't
That's what I
know.
heard.
I don't know if they took it, but but anyway, so they're trying to get to that place, and so they decided to send people to the center of the country, and obviously those guys finished. They sent more people through the other side, through the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
So like Pizarro, that guy went to Peru, and then the Spaniards started to spread.
Okay, so like, what would be the first time they were in Colombia as it is now? No.
1500.
Yeah, 1500.
I knew that's when they kind of started their.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they were at the height of their power, kind of maybe.
Yeah,
The Spanish.
The Spanish.
Do you have any hard feelings? Do you have any Spanish blood? Do you
Yeah, I
know?
have a Spanish blood, so
Okay.
I'm divided. So I'm not proud about what they did, and yeah, to be honest,
What is the reaction or like thoughts of people to Spain and the Spanish people back then?
right now we cannot blame.
Because a lot of people in Colombia must be like yourself have some Spanish heritage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For instance, my grandpa, he came from Spain
Mm-hmm.
during the Franco. when
Franco, yeah, okay.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
during the civil war in Spain, so he got married there.
Okay.
So, but anyways, I guess our point of view about Spain is right now it's like
What do you feel?
In
Like,
a historical context, are you talking about historically or modern day? Your feelings, or both? Yes, they're kind of intertwined.
I've been to Spain, and so they got a lot of gold on many things from their colonies, and right now they are not doing good. So like,
So it's kind of
I'm wondering.
a long-term karma.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
I would say the UK is going through a similar thing right now as well. We had lots of colonies that we fucked over. We're not doing so well right now.
That's just. But I mean, they had to wait a long time. The people who were doing the conquering, I guess you could call it, they died in the heyday, right? They didn't get to see the downfall.
Yeah, but anyways, in Spain they didn't have two options. They didn't send the best from Spain. They sent criminals. So there were two options.
The conquistadors were
jail or go to the new war.
And that's similar with the England with Australia, right?
Australia.
Yeah.
So you said you're into history. Any specific region, or do you have any favorite historical moment from Colombia, or like fighting off? When did you guys
got our
independence? Yeah, that's what I was going towards.
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
It was on July the 20th.
Which year?
14.
14.
Well, the Spanish
1810.
1810. Okay, that makes more sense.
Right, the Spaniards.
But anyways, the Spaniards came back, and we got our final battle on August the 7th in 1816.
So you had independence for 6 years, and then Spain was like, "Nah, we want you again."
So when Napoleon invaded Spain, so we took the
When Napoleon invaded Spain, that's when they kind of were SOL, shit out of luck with their dynasty or whatever you call it.
Exactly. So like
Empire.
They were losing control over their colonies. So like everybody.
So how did you get independence when they didn't agree to it? Or did they agree to it at first?
No.
So you fought and got your independence.
Yeah, England used
And
England help us.
part of
You're welcome.
Thank you.
part of your flag is red. I'm guessing that's the blood.
That's the part, exactly.
The yellow would be the gold.
It was
El Dorado.
Dorado gold.
That's the blue.
I
Is it
guess,
blue or red?
The seas.
Blue.
The seas. We
The
got
sea.
the Caribbean and the Pacific. So it's the only country in South
you've
America.
got both.
We
right.
got both. It's the only country.
East
in
and
South
west.
Nice.
What's that? Atlantic, Pacific, or
Pacific and the Caribbean.
the Caribbean?
That's Atlantic, pretty much.
Right.
It's the Caribbean
Just a
Sea.
section of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that also leads to the diversity, like geographically diverse, ethnically diverse. You've got a little Spanish in you. There's the African American Colombians. There's the indigenous folks.
And so back at the beginning of the 20th century, many people from Lebanon and
From where? Lebanon?
Yeah, Lebanon, Turkey. They came to Colombia. Even have you heard about Shakira?
Shakira, the pop star?
Exactly.
Shakira.
Right,
Yeah, she's
right.
Colombian, and her family they came from Lebanon.
In the 1900s?
Yeah.
As like some sort of
Immigrants.
just
Just
a big
immigrants.
immigration rush.
Exactly.
But was
So-
there a reason why?
Yeah,
or was it a
the-
gold
the-
rush or
The Turkish Empire was like
crumbling?
crumbling.
Oh, is this the Ottoman Empire?
Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
so-
Okay.
So they
So
came
they just
to
fucked off to
Like-
Colombia.
I hear South America's good this time of year.
It's right around the equator, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. So it's we go
it's
the
hot,
same.
but
It's hot. and-
comfortable.
Well, my city's in the mountains, so it's cool.
Oh, right.
It's
That's
cool,
it's so diverse. It's
yeah,
like
so diverse. So you
and
need
it
to, yeah,
Depends where you are, right? The
Yeah, exactly.
forest is going to be hot, but
Yeah,
where you
but
are
if
is...
you drive from Bogota like 2 hours, by 2 hours, it's gonna get warmer.
Yeah,
You know,
because you're going down, yeah. That's cool though. I want to live in the mountains. So can I ask you about the Spanish language? So
Yeah.
Colombian Spanish, what would you say is the difference between Colombian Spanish and Spain Spanish?
Yeah, well, so I think like language, like in English, language evolves.
Mhm.
So it's like you're from England and just American, so you know that you got different
Yeah.
slang, even the pronunciation
Yeah.
changes.
slang, etc.
Exactly. So it happened the same in South America. So in Colombia we got different accents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from Bogota, so I got a particular accent
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that like other people, for instance, from Medellin or people from the coast.
So is there something you noticed that's very different between what you would say in Spanish?
Yeah. So especially slang.
Okay.
Slang.
Give me
Yeah.
some Colombian slang.
Yeah. For instance, parcero. It's like you would say mate,
Mm-hmm.
and he can say buddy.
Okay.
So we say parcero.
Okay.
And in other countries they say compa, che.
I see.
So it's like.
You said you went to Spain.
Yeah, I went to Spain.
Did you have any problems with communication?
No.
If
be
you were to
honest,
speak Colombian Spanish to
No,
a
actually-
Spaniard, would they be like, "Oh, you're not
Yeah,
Spanish"?
Yeah, they can tell by my accent pretty much. It's not about my the words that I use. My,
It's
my
accent.
Yeah, it's totally different.
I know that people in Barcelona have that lispy
Barcelona.
talk.
Barcelona
Is-
is
Does Colombia have a specific trait that's Colombian?
Like, what's the difference between you and like Venezuela or like Mexico? Like, what?
yeah, Mexico. Well, so about accent.
Mhm.
So the accent in Mexico is kind of funny for us. Like, but we are really familiar because Mexican culture has been really like popular around Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have heard about Cantinflas
Recently or historically?
historically.
Mexico's been like the cool big brother or something.
It's like there are like right now like two countries that you say like they're the opposite: Argentina and Mexico. Mexico is more like proud about the indigenous heritage, and Argentina is the opposite. It's about the European heritage. It's like a
little bit of a clash
exactly
of cultures.
cultures.
Culture clash. And who would you say is the winner there? Or nobody?
It's nobody, I guess.
It's
like
just fun to
pointless.
watch.
It's pointless, exactly. It's
Yeah.
pointless. But anyway, you can take things that you consider that are positive for you. It's just like a personal choice.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we were talking about the neighbors of Colombia, what is Ecuador? and
Ecuador, Peru,
Venezuela.
Venezuela, Brazil, and Panama.
And is there any like stereotypes between the two? Like,
Yeah, for
oh,
example-
you don't want to talk to Brazilians about
Yeah,
soccer.
Yeah, we have like a kind of conflict with people from Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Recently, historically,
Historically.
Okay.
Yeah, historically. But nowadays, as you know,
So what's the problem with Venezuela? I
Uh,
mean, obviously not now. We all know that now. But
So
it's about
did you have wars or
when,
anything?
When we started La Gran Colombia, so they got their independence. They want to be separate.
they got your independence from you,
Exactly. So it's like
Colombia.
I see.
So there's a bit of a long-standing
long
beef.
distance, like.
Okay.
We'll give you your little freedom for now.
Right now, since you know, like the
Is this a big problem though between you? Like, if you met someone from Venezuela, just not now, but if you're in Colombia, would that be a problem for that person?
right now, immigrants from Venezuela, as you know, Venezuela is not doing good.
Yeah.
So we got
Understatement,
we
but
got
yeah.
more than 1 million immigrants from Venezuela.
Oh wow.
Well, they're
People who are-
starving in their own country. They have to
People
leave.
are-
Do
Exactly.
they have to cross over some geographical crazy
Yeah, it's
the
like,
mountains or the
the
forest, the jungle?
No, they have to. Pretty much they have to walk. Yeah,
Right, but
yeah.
through what?
Yeah, the roads. Yeah.
So there
yeah.
is there is a comfortable
Yeah, and
route.
exactly so like
Comfortable.
when they go to Colombia, everything is gonna be like 4 or 5 times more expensive.
Yeah, and they have
so
no
the
money.
that they got from Venezuela is like useless.
It's just a piece of
It's
paper.
Paper, exactly.
Less than it's printed.
Mhm.
Less worth
What-
less than it's printed on.
What is your thoughts on the current problems in Venezuela?
Right now, well, so it's like
So there's
they
the
have a dictatorship.
Well, for
They have a
people
dictator,
who
yeah.
don't know, give them a rundown.
yeah.
hmm They have a dictatorship. They've been like a socialist country, like
Borderline
for a
fascist.
while. Yeah, for a while.
They have a new guy who was
Maduro,
elected in. Yeah.
so
Maduro's
guy-
the-
yeah, everything started with Chavez.
Yeah.
Chavez, and then Chavez passed away, and then they got Maduro.
Did
and-
the power transfer to Maduro?
Yeah, exactly.
But with Maduro now who's in power, but there's the new guy who's
the new guy Guaido.
Yeah.
But
he's
anyways,
calling himself the leader at the moment.
There's not like my concern. It's like they want to start like a war, like, but if we start a war with Venezuela, they got better weapons.
They have Russia on their
Exactly,
side.
they got a Russia on their side. So like, it's not our problem. It's not
I
our
think
problem.
Colombia is sending a lot of aid into Venezuela. I
Yeah,
believe,
we try.
like food and stuff.
but anyway, it's just like our current government try to use law. We're trying to.
We're helping
No,
you. We're
but
good guys. Okay.
But nah, like nah. It's like for instance, right now it's like
Colombia's like, we just got comfortable. Leave us
no,
alone.
No, and Trump is like the United States. The president of your country.
I know Trump.
Yeah, he wants to go to start a war with Venezuela, but because Venezuela they got oil.
Yeah.
When
and they're very pro-Russia,
when-
and that's
Exactly.
another.
when political pundits in the West, or in America, I mean, like to poke holes in socialism, Venezuela's their first
Yeah.
The
choice.
first Cuba, Cuba was like the first.
That's the old punching bag.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got a new
like
one.
A new one, Venezuela. So.
Yeah, it's true.
And there is another one in Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, yeah, yeah.
It's like another.
But they never go to the good examples in Europe, right? It's
Right.
always the bad examples in South America.
What's a Finland? What's
Yeah.
a Sweden?
Finland, Norway. What? I've never heard of that place.
Big hockey country.
Yeah, I guess. Kind of icy.
it's very cold.
That's great. So, do you have a favorite Colombian? Somebody that you admire that's Colombian besides your
all
parents?
of history, all of Colombian history.
Oh.
Bolivar's a
Except
big
Shakira.
guy, right?
Anyone
Yeah, Bolivar,
except-
Bolivar, he was born in Venezuela.
Oh, okay.
So he's not
No,
Colombian.
he's not Colombian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was born in Caracas.
Wow.
I guess my favorite.
Shakira, right?
No, Shakira.
Sofia Vergara.
No, Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Oh,
is,
the writer.
The writer.
He's a brilliant writer,
yeah,
right?
He was a brilliant
I've-
writer.
I
He
haven't.
won the Nobel Prize in literature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you say is his best work?
100 Years of Solitude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
See,
I think that's the famous.
The name rings a bell, and I have people, literary or writer friends that praise the S out of him, and
Yeah, for
I'm not
instance, I don't know if you watch Narcos.
I've started it actually. Yeah.
Do you remember the first episode? They mentioned something about magic realism, like everything might happen in Colombia.
About what?
Magic realism.
Magic realism.
Realism. So exactly, it's like Gabriel Garcia Marquez started with that thing. It's like something everything might happen in Colombia because it's crazy. Like something that you can think that is crazy.
So is it a movement or a philosophy?
Philosophy, pretty much.
Okay.
It's about that.
And he started it.
Yeah, he started.
Magic realism.
And they use it in
So-
Narcos.
So it's like anything can happen because you're in. You're in South America, so anything is possible.
Exactly. So
It's like this is Africa or whatever.
If you
Yeah,
can dream it, it will happen.
Yeah, well, it's like when you think like over
think-
here, like you complain about common sense. What about common sense? Sometimes it applies in Colombia. Like,
Oh,
but
I see.
what happened with that? That was not the right thing to. That was not the right thing to do, and they did it on the opposite way. So it's like.
So it's used as an excuse for something.
excuse for
yeah.
something,
Okay,
exactly.
I see.
Oh, yeah, I remember one book he wrote about a guy from the army who was expecting for a letter, so to get some money from the government, and that guy was like in a really bad economic situation, really really bad. And then at the end of the book, that guy was like, his wife asked him, so what about us? What are we gonna eat? Shit. Yeah, we have been waiting for that letter for 40 years and it never came.
So it's a little grim in some
yeah,
parts.
exactly. So it's like.
So would you say his was his writing style kind of fiction based on truth, or
Yeah, fiction and true events.
just a little bit about
yeah, about
kind of like
you could mix them.
what's his name? Shot himself with a shotgun. Famous writer.
Hemingway.
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 Wow.
I love Hemingway.
He took a lot from the Spanish Civil War, but his books weren't exactly.
Yeah, he wrote like an. I studied English literature for a while. So,
cool.
Yeah. I like Hemingway because he got like the hero code. It's a guy who's.
It was very bare bones and just in your face for the time.
Exactly, it's like a struggle, pretty much.
Right.
Struggle.
He didn't care about pleasing
No.
the
No.
literature cognoscenti
No.
of the time.
Exactly. It's no.
He was just like, this is what I know. Here it is. Speaking of English, why? How do you know English and why?
I got a degree on English and Spanish education.
Uh-huh.
So I got a bachelor degree in Colombia.
So you went to college in Colombia,
In Colombia, yeah.
and you said you majored in English.
Yeah, I majored in English and Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to the States. It was back in 2009 to Minnesota.
Sorry, did you major in English or like English lit or something?
English like literature and grammar, phonics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, pretty much. You can, with my degree, you can be you can work as a Spanish teacher or English teacher as a second language,
Mhm.
obviously.
So did you have interest in learning English, or you wanted to watch Western movies, or what's the deal?
I was really.
Sorry, I've got a situation.
Yeah, no worries.
Our
I was-
producer is off the rails.
I was really into American culture
Okay.
back in the day. Yeah, in the 90s.
Just for everyone at home, Spencer's chasing a cat right
Yeah.
now. That's what's happening.
Nice.
Okay, so when did you graduate?
2007.
Wow, you're so. Oh no, I'm joking.
yeah, I'm kind of old.
And what did you do? Fresh out of university, where did you go? What did you do? You wanted
I
to
started
travel?
work. No, I started to work.
In Colombia.
Yeah, in Colombia.
And what was your first job?
It was as a social studies teacher in
A
English.
socialist studies teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in English.
So it's kind of like teaching politics.
Teaching politics, history in English.
Colombian or just world?
Worldwide.
In English.
In English.
In Colombia.
In Colombia.
And did you have a lot of students?
Yeah. We was in a private school, so they were like, they tried to sell like an idea. Our school is bilingual.
Oh, I
So
see.
you have to teach different subjects in
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
So
It's like
I
an
was in charge.
international school
Yeah, pretty much.
teaching
but,
every
But
subject.
it was not a proper international.
Yeah.
school.
Okay,
You know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. And how long were you there?
I worked there for 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah, 1 year. So then I started to jump into different jobs
Okay.
just to get more money and.
And how was that for you? Because you hadn't studied anything about politics before you had this job, right?
Yeah, no, actually, I was really into history and geography and
Yeah.
democracy and
Was
politics.
it easy for you to just go into teaching it?
I have to read. I have to read a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because it's different when you teach languages. Because
Yeah.
you have a different approach. So I
Exactly.
have to get familiar.
Yeah. If you were doing it in Spanish, it would have been much easier. I
Yeah,
imagine.
exactly. But in English was like.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. And so you were jumping around to jobs, and you traveled to Spain during this time, or
No. Yes, I went to Spain. No. I went to Spain in 2017.
Okay,
I
so
spent
much
only
later.
I spent only like 2 weeks over there.
So did you do a lot of traveling
Where?
after you graduated?
Around the country.
Just around Colombia.
Around Colombia.
So then what made the jump to China?
Okay, so when in 2009 I applied for one program in the U.S. So I went to Minnesota. So I was working as a Spanish assistant
Mm-hmm.
over there in one IB school. That was a cool experience. So I got a host family. So I learned many things about American culture.
Minnesota, big hockey town.
Yeah,
Town,
yeah,
it's a state.
It's a state.
and American football as well. So a
Cool.
bit of Vikings.
Vikings, right.
Yeah, Vikings, and I
You s-
learned about Vikings and Packers. Okay, there are no
Big
like-
rivalry,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Sorry, before I had to take care of family issues. You mentioned you were interested in American culture as
Yeah.
a child, or
Yeah, when I was a teenager,
The
like
movies
rock,
or-
movie, music, rock, pretty much.
America and Colombia's in a positive light,
Yeah, yeah. So
regardless of political
yeah, it's
snafus.
really popular. So we are really exposed about movies from Hollywood. So like,
It's kind of
You have the
Is-
latest movies and everything.
that's a part of learning your English, or
yeah, exactly. So if you want to study English, yeah, pretty much you are gonna try to. You want to speak like an American.
So this is an interesting. So liking the U.S. when you were young,
Mhm.
and then going to the U.S. After you graduated, were there any like culture shocks? Something that
Yeah,
really surprised you?
Yeah, 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 totally.
you're like, not everybody talks like Rocky, or
No. Well, I remember when I got to the airport for the first time in Minneapolis, and my host family was waiting for me.
you're like, it's cold.
Yeah. It was
You-
in September. It was kind
Do
of warm
people
at
have
that point.
jackets in Colombia?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
It
part
lives
of
in
your.
the mountains.
Oh, the
Yeah,
mountains!
yeah,
I
yeah,
keep
yeah.
forgetting.
The mountains.
I keep thinking you're like from the jungle or
No,
something.
no, not from the jungle. Like, I don't have to hunt.
Okay.
Okay, my breakfast.
Okay, the mountains. I'll remember that. Sorry.
So when I went to the States for the first time, my host family was waiting for me. My host mom started to speak. I understood everything what she said. I was like, oh, my English is not that bad. As soon as my
Was she
host-
being condescending? Was she like, "Hello,
No,
Carlos"?
Hello, Mr.
I
Colombian.
realized that that is like everywhere else. Like
Minnesota, very
just
friendly
speak
people.
is like, yeah, they're really friendly, but your accent is gonna change drastically according to your education, the education that
Yeah,
you got.
that's true. That's true.
So, and she went to university over there.
Your house
And
mom.
So
her
she's
husband,
well
he's a
educated.
contractor there. So
Uh-huh.
when he starts to speak, it was like, what the fuck is he saying?
Right. A bit of a different
Yeah.
tone.
Tones exactly like and that guy was from Wisconsin.
Bit harder
Harder
than
a really strong accent.
hmm
So I was like,
Minnesota.
yeah, Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah, give me a pop.
Soda.
You ever
Oh.
watched Fargo?
Give me a pop.
Give me a pop. Yeah, they love the pop. I can't say pop with a straight face, and you can't say pop in any other accent than Minnesota. You
We
gotta
say
say
in
pop.
the UK we say pop like when we're kids. That's what we call.
Get a couple of soda pops.
Soda pop.
We just
They
call
they
them
add
pops.
soda to it sometimes,
Yeah.
which makes it even more
Yeah, like-
northern American.
Midwest accent.
I don't know what we call them when we're older though. Like we call them pop.
I've heard fizzy drinks from
We
you
do say
Brits,
no, that's
which
true.
is hilariously
I do
British.
say fizzy drink. I do say
Got
Got
fizzy
any
drink.
bubbly water?
Bubbly, what?
Fizzy yeah.
Okay.
Bubbly
Fizzy
sugar
drink.
water.
Soft drink. Some people say soft drink. But that's
Soft
more of
drink.
Australian, I think.
In most places in America, we just say Coke or
But for everything,
Pepsi
right?
or
right.
Pepsi.
Right. Coke is
Everything
every
is
brand.
Brand. Yeah. Yeah, it's easier. I
It's
guess.
like the same as pop, but it doesn't sound as weird. But
I
I,
think
guess
it sounds
pop is the
more-
preferred nomenclature.
But if you want like a Sprite and you say, "Give me a Coke," that sounds weird.
right, no, I guess
you
you
just
specify.
make
Give me a
it
Dr
specific.
Pepper. Give me a Mountain Dew.
I'll take a Coke. No, I said a Coke, not a Coke.
Who's on first?
Yeah. Pronunciation problems. Yeah. I remember when
Did
one of
you-
my friends.
When you first went to Minnesota, did you make friends immediately? Was it hard? Was it like
They were friendly from the very beginning,
okay. Yeah, Minnesota's a very
Mhm.
homey place.
but at some point you got homesick. So it's like
Of course, yeah.
I know that you have I'm pretty sure you have experienced something like that here on YouTube.
No, never.
No,
No, I'm joking, of course.
He's just so happy to be away from
Exactly,
England.
get away from the family.
Like, no more.
But being homesick and being alone is like a really good growing experience as a person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've noticed that in
Makes
just
you
in
stronger.
China, but as a even younger person, when did you first go to Minnesota?
I was 29 at that point. I was not that young.
29. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had already gotten acclimated to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you were a person.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So teaching over there is totally different.
Say what?
Teaching.
Uh-huh.
Teaching.
And how long were you there then? Like,
I spent 1 year there.
wow. Did you stay with a host family for 1 year?
No, I changed. I switched families.
How many families were you a part of?
Two families.
Two families.
2 families.
6 months each time?
6 months.
That's still a long time to live with a family, right? 6
Yeah.
months. And
Yes.
so they would have become almost like family for you, right?
Yeah, I got my issues with my first family, but the second one was
Didn't
much
mesh
better.
perfectly.
The beginning, so it's like
Cultural difference.
cultural difference. I learned that Americans, they want to live far away from everything. So it's like that.
You have to have a car.
Yeah, if you don't have a car, you're done.
Okay.
You cannot go anywhere.
I thought you brought in a
getting a ride was quite difficult at that point. With
Right,
my
you
first
feel-
host family.
You feel like in America. I haven't experienced this, but I've experienced not having a car for a while, and you feel like so needy, right?
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
yeah.
I need to buy a pack of gum. Who's got a car?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you want to go to the grocery store,
Right.
Without a car, it's impossible.
You need a car the whole time.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
But cultural differences. The host family, they knew you were South American. Did they prepare anything for you, or they have a big bag of blow waiting for you? Or?
Cocaine already pre-lined.
No.
That's the first and last one. First and last one.
No, no, like that mean.
Heap bastard.
Like,
If you were in
No,
New
no,
York,
no.
there would have been.
like, cool. So I'm no Pablo Escobar. What do you bring? I brought some. I brought some gifts from Colombia, like handicraft and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Did they have? Did they make some? What's a Colombian dish or?
No. They.
What is Colombian food similar to Spanish food because
Mexican,
of the
maybe?
No, we are in every single country.
It's very different. Yeah.
Different
Okay.
cuisine.
So the cuisine is even diverse,
It's diverse.
and I bet it's even diverse within the country.
Yeah. It depends.
Mountain
on the region as
people
well.
eat-
People from the coast, people from the plains, as well.
And like we said earlier, like what 5% of the population is in the jungle, like that.
Yeah, 5%.
Really small percent.
I haven't been there, so
You haven't been there,
no.
so you haven't traveled extensively in your own country
Yeah,
too
but
much.
never to the Amazon. Never
Uh-huh.
to the Amazon.
No desire, or
No desire, pretty much. It's
just like
yeah, because I'm a city guy.
you're a city
so-
boy, Bogota.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, like, how
I
many?
have friends from Europe, and they're like crazy. I want to go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Be my guest. Go.
But that's because it's new for them. Like, like Spencer, how many like national parks have you been to in the U.S.?
Yeah, I've been to the big ones like Yellowstone, and I haven't been to the Grand Canyon. America's so damn big, so I've been to a bunch of states. I haven't been to a bunch of like
Tourist places.
tourist stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, when you are from somewhere, you don't really care about the tourist things so much. But then you tell someone,
And
I've
that-
never been to the Grand Canyon. They're like, what? But it's so
Yeah,
amazing.
It's beautiful. I've flown over it, and it's it is beautiful. That's my next when I go back to America next. That's where I want to go. But and that's the reason why Americans don't travel much is because they don't even see what's in their own country, much less. If you're affluent or curious about the world, yes, you can travel anywhere if you're American and have a passport.
Yeah,
It's the same in China. Like, China is so big. Well, they're the same size. America and China are the same
Right.
size.
Anyway, their passport is not that good, so they need
No, but-
visas.
But then they don't need it to travel. They've got so much to see in their own country, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, China and America are about the same size, I'd say.
America's a little bit bigger because of Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska's like deceptively large.
Yeah, and it's
It's
not
like half the
if
size.
you count mainland, they're pretty much exactly the same.
Right. And like we have this similar topography, but we're this big, whereas you have the same topography and you're this big.
And this
I
big,
mean,
exactly,
you can see a whole new
Whole
landscape in an hour drive or a couple hour flight.
It
Or
depends, like we don't have trains in Colombia.
No trains.
No trains. Also, it's crazy.
Zero trains.
Zero trains. Yeah, we had back in the day like
Sorry, one more time. Zero trains.
zero. That's crazy. That's great. I know. I've been to different
Cocaine in
countries.
every household and no
I
trains.
told you, no common sense.
That's
I'm
true.
sorry
You
about
did.
no
Yeah.
common sense.
It's magic realism. That's what it is.
like,
that's great.
and I've been to different countries, Russia, China, in Europe, Germany, and trains are really important.
European trains are like, I mean, except UK. UK trains are awful, but like European trains are like amazing. Like, and they are all interconnected.
Exactly.
The Interrail, you can go from Russia to France, basically.
Exactly. So and
That's in a country where, vehicular lobbies are not so prevalent. In America, our trains are garbage because
Everyone drives.
everyone
for roads.
they-
You prefer to make roads.
not so much prefer, but the companies prefer for us to buy gas and cars.
Yeah,
so
cars. That was a business.
if there's a train that goes from New York to LA or even closer, I mean, we have
I
a
heard that they
system
were trying to build.
trying, for
Uh-huh.
what, the past 50 years?
The UK though is tiny. Like you can go from my hometown to London on a high-speed train. It's like 2 hours, and that's like a 4-hour car journey, 4 to 5 hour car journey.
I guess it's cheaper by train.
But it's super expensive
Super expensive.
because they're private companies that own it.
Ah.
Because the government sold the rights to private companies.
Oh.
So now it's not. It used to be nationalized. Like when my parents were young, it was owned by the government, so everything was like regulated, certain prices. But now it's a company that 2-hour train journey will cost you about £80, which is like 900 RMB, Chinese RMB, maybe $100,
Ooh, yeah, it's pricey.
something like that.
It's pricey, but it's like better than buying a car,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, at least you have that option. It's up to you if you wanna drive or take the train.
And in China, there's
What about flights?
See, this is. I read a news story not long ago. There was a guy who had a job interview. He was a little bit north of where my hometown is. So driving from his hometown to London would take him maybe 5 or 6 hours by car. If he takes a train, maybe 3 hours. He didn't want to do either of those because they were a little bit expensive. He booked a flight online that flew him from his hometown, just near Manchester, to Spain.
A low budget.
Yeah, he stayed in Spain for 12 hours, and then he flew from Spain to London, and then back in the same journey. And it was cheaper than buying a train ticket from his hometown to London. That's how expensive it is. You can go to another country for 12 hours. And then
you can chill out in Madrid.
Right? Yeah, he was in Madrid. So like he had a holiday as well as a job interview.
Oh, that's cool. That was.
And that's Chinese people often complain here that the bus prices have been raised. They used to be 1 RMB. Now they're 2 RMB. In my hometown, the equivalent of 25 RMB is the same journey. 25 RMB. And that's just for a single journey. That's not like a return ticket or anything.
In my hometown, we pay like almost $1.
US dollar, yeah.
$1, but it's still cheaper here.
Yeah, it's so cheap here. It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
super cheap here. But a lot of Chinese people don't understand how cheap it is here. Or maybe because
Your income is not.
yeah, maybe it's my problem because I'm thinking of my income and they're not their income. But like they often complain about healthcare here as well. But then you compare that to American healthcare where it's ridiculously expensive, right?
No, healthcare in the UK is really good.
Yeah, well, it's free.
Your
Like,
cover,
yeah,
exactly.
that's yeah. Healthcare.
do you have to wait a lot or?
The UK, yeah, like you'll be put on a waiting unless it's like an emergency. But
So
if
you're not gonna die if you need emergency surgery.
no. You'll be seen.
That's good.
They have specialized stuff for that. But if you plan a surgery, you could be on a list for like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm happy to wait if it's free.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rather pay $20,000 or
I'm
wait?
like-
I wait.
In America, if you're uninsured,
Right?
if you're uninsured in America, there's this like sense of like, okay, be careful.
Yeah. Don't do anything.
Don't tumble down the escalator.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, if you have a good job with good benefits, sure, you can tumble down the escalator all you want.
In
But
fact, it's encouraged because
Yeah.
you get a payout.
right.
What's healthcare like in Colombia? Socialist?
No, it's private.
Medicinal
Private,
cocaine.
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
Pretty
just
bad. You pay for nothing, pretty much.
pay for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to wait for 8 hours, 7 hours, and they don't have medicines sometimes.
Also, it's
Uh,
under
Try to get into the
developed as well.
Yeah, it's just exactly. It's like a corruption, pretty much.
Mm.
Pretty much. It's like I gotta.
But is it free?
No, it's not for free. You have to pay. So when you work, part of your salary goes to the.
Well, I mean that's the same in the UK. We have national insurance which goes out, but it's a small
But
amount.
they got private companies and they kept the money. They took the money from your salary.
Oh, so it doesn't go to a government
No,
thing. It's
no.
a company.
There's a company.
Yeah.
Private.
So it's like
That's not the
something
same.
like the public doesn't work. Like private
Ooh.
private sector is not working.
Why am I paying you? Yeah. Okay.
What about your upbringing? What are most kids from Bogota? Would they be considered like
Catholic?
conservative, or
No,
did
we
you
are more
have
liberal.
strict
Liberal.
parents?
No, we
or
are liberal. In Bogota, we are
just
liberal.
kind of have fun,
Yeah,
do your
exactly.
thing,
Have
scrape your
fun,
knee.
Yeah, we respect
get in
many
trouble.
things.
Is it religious?
No, we are like I'm Catholic, but I'm not really like
You're Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
by name, but not
By
by
name,
practice.
exactly. But
Most are.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. No, like oh my God.
Yeah.
Because Latin America is I've always thought of it as a very religious place.
Yeah, it's
right?
very religious person, but it depends. It depends on your background. It
Mhm.
depends where you live as well.
Yeah.
But if you live in Bogota, you're exposed to many things. Like it's like cosmopolitan, you know.
Yeah. It's a big city, right?
Exactly, it's a big city.
yeah.
So it's a big city, and we don't have a metro there. That's funny.
You don't have
Subway.
trains, don't have
Train,
subway.
no.
So
it's
is it kind
Yeah,
of
it's the capital city of one country, and we don't have a subway. Can
Is
you
it
believe that?
is it like
Corruption. You know, I tell you, common sense.
Well, but it's also you're also in the mountains. I can't imagine it's easy to.
No, but it's in the city. The city's in the
Right,
middle
so
of the
I'm-
mountain, and
Or
it's
like a
flat,
valley.
but it's flat.
so it's a little
Wow.
plateau
Flat.
in the mountains? A little
exactly.
flat
It's
part
exactly,
in
it's flat, exactly.
Is there mountains all around? Is it
Exactly,
just
on the mountain.
is it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
It's just beautiful,
It's
right?
beautiful,
A
yeah.
mountain is
But there's no
capital.
trains.
There are trains. There's like and just spend like hours on the car. Or I had a motorcycle there, but still the traffic is awful.
Damn.
Okay.
So if you could recommend somewhere to go, something to see in Colombia, what
Oh
would-
my gosh.
top 3.
Not the jungle.
A natural park on the coast in the north area, Parque Tayrona. It's really beautiful.
Okay.
Really, really beautiful.
Sorry, I know you want to make eye contact, but try to
Oh, sorry.
mic it up.
Parque Tayrona.
What about some-
It's not far from Santa Marta.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What about like food? What should I try if I go there?
From Bogota, you should try ajiaco. It's
Ajiaco.
Yeah, it's like a soup with chicken, potatoes, corn.
Is it like a thick?
Thick
It's
or
thick. It's
okay?
thick.
I like
It's
that.
thick.
That sounds
All right,
It's thick.
good.
Not like
You had me
not
lost
like
at
soups in
soup.
China, it's like
good. Yeah. Oh, a soup.
Oh
I don't
my
like to
gosh,
drink
and
my
some
dinner.
Avocado, and some avocado. as well.
Oh, avocado.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Superfood.
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
that on
when
toast.
That one, you're gonna be like, oh. So what is the American expression of that food? Stick on your ribs.
Stick the avocado.
No, the food. That
Oh,
dish
it sticks to your
sticks to
ribs.
your ribs.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's healthy and
is healthy and
hearty.
Hard, exactly.
Fattening.
Hey, hearty.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the food and the place. Anything else that you would recommend?
Cartagena.
What's that?
It's a city
Okay.
in the north as well. Really
Is that
beautiful.
is that where the the conquistadors arrived in?
Yeah,
It rings a bell.
They got like fortification walls around the old city, the ancient city.
And they're still up.
Yeah,
they're still there.
So they made a fortress.
Yeah,
like-
exactly, a fortress.
Oh.
So Spaniards built a fortress in order to protect Cartagena from pirates.
How
in the UK.
Yeah, we had a lot of pirates.
how developed was? Let's reverse back just real quick. How developed was Colombia when they came? Was it just a bunch of tribes running around?
Yeah, a bunch of tribes. We didn't have like.
So they built everything.
We cannot compare
Like
with
most-
the Aztecs or the Incas.
So because they didn't build train system, you don't have trains. that's why, right?
They brought horses.
We built a train system at the end of the 19th century.
But
the government, the corruption, they killed that train system.
so you have train tracks.
Yeah, but they're useless now because they're old. And right now, the modern tracks are like.
Damn.
bigger.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, it's like sad is the corruption. We got many things in my country, but because of the mentality, like people try to make money easily, they.
Just fucks everyone,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Which is the case with a lot of old countries, older countries.
Yeah, but every single country in Latin America is facing the same problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can ask people from Brazil, Argentina, Chile.
Ven-
Chile is
Venezuela.
doing better. Chile's
Speaking of transportation, one of my favorite, like, it's not good or bad, but I love that, like, all of these conquistadors came over, and could you imagine being like in a tribe and seeing a man on a horse?
Yeah, exactly.
For the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
No horses there. They had
Right.
llamas.
So
Yeah.
so you're seeing this guy
An alpaca.
controlling a beast.
A beast and
Like
they were taller.
like are they
Yeah.
together?
They were
Are
taller
they
than-
is that one thing?
Different
like, that would
colours.
scare the hell out of you.
Coming on a huge ship, they'd
and
made
the
small
armor.
boats.
Right, they
And
were
the armor-
advanced.
And the armor as well.
It's
It's
basically
scary.
like, it's
That's
like if
scary.
you see an alien today. It would
Exactly.
be the same.
They
kind
were
of
they
stuff.
were aliens.
Yeah,
Literally.
Exactly. So if you are like you believe about aliens and if they came, it's gonna happen the same. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like,
They'll be riding some big
Yeah, exactly.
animal that
Right.
I don't know.
we're like, oh.
exactly. So that takes me into a slightly more like a historic question, like the natives in the country at the time. Obviously, you have like these tribes. Are there any famous named tribes from Colombia or
From a region, Chipchas.
Chipchas?
Yeah, and right now it's like there are like two big communities in the north, Taironas, Cogis, and in the south, not far from Ecuador, Paez.
Pious.
Do they get any government like help, assistance,
So
subsidization?
the problem is like
Are they treated well?
Is there any like ethnic problems within your country?
Problems, like kind of racism, pretty much like.
So people are like, I'm Spanish. You're just a old
They
tribesman.
They consider that they're white. Like I was like, oh, but man, you gotta go to the north. You're gonna see like a white.
The Spaniard
the Spanish
descendants.
blood, exactly. It's like, and all
They
that- all
consider
families-
themselves
all
superior.
families, all families. And
Is
pretty
there
much-
any of this like native architecture in Colombia? Like you have the Aztec stuff and those types of
you have to go to the Parque Tayrona, the park
Okay.
I mentioned before. You can see like some, how do you say that?
like a pyramid or something?
No, it's like a house.
A house.
Yeah, it's like a house, kind of house. I forgot the name of that in English.
A hut?
The people,
Teepee?
TP tent,
Yeah, tent. But they use solid materials. So that
earth. They made it with the earth.
Oh, okay. So there's an old like community where they used to live
They
and stuff.
live there. It's like the name of that community is Ciudad Perdida. It's really the lost city.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
it's really beautiful.
Is Colombia good at preserving the old and the new, or are they kind of forgotten? Like just do your own thing, or is it
because
celebrated?
for example,
or-
like Peru with Machu Picchu, they have that city in the mountains, right? Is there
They,
anything?
we respect the traditions of those communities for
Okay.
sure. Like because they survived
The Spanish.
Yeah, Spaniards, exactly. So we have to respect their
Yeah.
beliefs and stuff. But still, it's like people like they are trying to go to those places to get like gold, looking for gold or looking for.
Surely all the
Oil
gold is
and
gone,
things like
right?
that, yeah.
No,
Is there
there's
that
still
much?
There's still gold.
The yellow bit of y'all's flag
And do you know that
is half the flag.
But do you know that they tried?
It's not 1/3. It's
one
half.
third, exactly. It's like
It's
even
half,
the
right?
Spanish took it, or even the politicians took it. So
Like
it's
the
hard to
gold,
tell.
there's more gold than blood. There's
Yeah,
more,
blood.
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
There's more gold than
it's like something.
It's a rap song.
That's deep.
Like bullshit, pretty much. But there is still gold, but they go to the rivers and you know that they use like some how to say that, like when you are in a river you have
Sifting-
to use
sifting.
uranium, something to so the gold can came out.
Come up?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
But
not
it's-
I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
familiar.
you have a chemical.
But
to-
it's really hotter. It's
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
hotter,
There's
really-
like an acidic chemical
exactly,
used.
but it kills the environment.
Yeah.
So and they're using that thing over there, pretty much. It's like my
That's a just a microcosm of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kill this earth
kill
for
everything
ourselves.
Yeah.
for some
ourselves,
shiny.
exactly.
I need some shiny. Let's kill everything.
Let's get all the shiny. Let's switch gears a little. I've never met like a negative or angry Colombian. How do you guys stay so happy? This isn't like a lead in to a
That's like funny.
you know what joke.
Trick
That's
question.
that's a good question. That's a good question.
Why is it
It's the drugs.
Yeah,
right?
I feel. Nah, I'm not on drugs. That's like yeah, it's
you just
I guess
taught
it's
to
like
appreciate life,
it's
or
like in Latin America, we are really positive about
white
life.
people love to find like shit to be angry about that doesn't matter.
Oh,
That's
well,
my
we can
life.
get
Don't
angry.
don't hate on me, okay?
No,
That's
we-
all I do.
No,
Shut up.
We can get angry. We can get angry about many things. Like
But it makes sense.
sometimes,
sometimes.
what about football, soccer? It doesn't make
Ooh,
sense.
oh yeah,
Just one
hooliganism
sport,
is
and we
silly. Yes,
like,
yes.
go, wow, we're losing.
Yeah.
And it's like a big deal. Not something crazy, but it is what
When
it
you
is.
lose the hockey tournaments,
Yeah, exactly. It's like
rough.
It's just one sport.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Pablo Escobar.
Oh, okay. Okay. My personal opinion, I don't like that guy.
That's not very controversial.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
many
I
people
don't like
do
that
that.
guy. So it's like
He's
he was a criminal.
Yeah.
I'm from Bogota. When I was
He was from the capital, right?
he's
no,
from
he was
Medellin.
from Medellin.
Oh,
Medellin.
okay.
He's the Medellin cartel.
Medellin
There's
cartel.
two famous
Medellin
cartels.
cartel and Cali's cartel.
Cali, yeah.
Mhm.
And
so they got I live in Bogota and we got the government over there, so we got many terrorist attacks over there because of him. Bombs
for him
Yeah, for him.
For him. So
in
By
his
him.
name.
By him.
Right.
By him.
he said
Right.
do this
He-
and
yeah,
that's
he sent guys and attack this.
I mean, he was richer than the
Yeah,
whole
he-
South American continent.
Yeah, he was the fifth. According to the Forbes, he was the fifth richest guy on the planet at that
time. Yeah.
At that time.
He had a zoo.
Yeah, he had a zoo.
Yeah, but we've all got zoos, Spencer.
And right now we are dealing with those. No, right
Well,
now
I got a
we are-
zoo right
we are
over
dealing
there.
with those hippopotamus.
Yeah.
They're still.
Right.
They're still around.
They're
Right.
still around. You cannot get
It's
rid of them.
it's an invasive species.
Yeah, exactly. So
A giant.
A similar thing happened in Hawaii. There was a rich guy that took chickens over to Hawaii, and
One
then
of
they
the
just
Kamehameha kings
they
or
just
something.
bred
Mhm.
incredibly because chickens don't come from Hawaii.
But a chicken's a chicken. A hippo.
yeah,
That is scary.
Even
That will-
crocodiles
that
try
will
to be
eat- That will eat a whole family.
that's true. That is true. So how long was he? Because he was political as well, right? Like he was moving.
Yeah, he
to
was
the-
a senator.
Yeah, like-
for a while.
How long was he in power as a senator? He was in power as a
less
drug
than-
lord for a long time.
Less 1 month less. Than
Really?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's no in Colombia. There's no people with like Pablo T-shirts or something. Is
Yeah,
there?
you can
Is
find
there?
them- Yeah,
You
in
can.
Medellin, in Medellin.
Oh, in Beijing.
In
So-
Medellin.
Oh, Medellin. I thought you
Yeah.
said Beijing.
Medellin.
Medellin.
So in Medellin, they still
Mhm.
a proportion a part
they
of their.
consider-
He's a
they
hero,
consider
like a
as
local hero.
like a Robin Hood. something like
Really? Like a Che Guevara or something like that, maybe.
But drug dealing Che
drug dealing
Guevara.
shit, but he gave him money. And
Right.
Was he
shelter.
good? Was he good to the local people?
Yeah, to the
Other than being a
people-
terrorist.
Yeah,
He was like Al
he was good with
Capone.
the people from Medellin.
Okay.
I know people
But
from
not
all
other
the
people. Yeah.
places.
I see.
So it's like it's crazy how one man, one physical human being can change a country,
Mm-hmm.
a continent even. He changed America, North America, sorry.
Well, that's where he got all his money from as well.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
So, like the TV show that you mentioned earlier, Narcos. Have you watched it?
yeah.
How like true do you think that is to the actual history?
Well, it's Hollywood, they
Yeah.
try to exaggerate many things as well, but
They will
there are many
exaggerate it
things
all.
that
Do you
were
think
real.
it did well to show the problem of?
Did
right now,
did
was
it
funny.
glorify him?
It was funny, yeah.
It glorified him.
that.
It's like, oh, he's a cool
A
mobster.
cool mobster. Like I live in 2 years ago. I lived in Kazakhstan, and one day I went to a bar, and
We'll get back to that in a minute. We'll come back to that.
I'm from Colombia. I'm from Colombia. Oh, Pablo Escobar.
Ah.
Oh, the boss. No, he was an.
It's a
awful
bit of a
Yeah.
it's a bit of a sore subject
exactly
in
so-
your guys' history.
And right now it's like you got those stereotypes about like, sorry, if you're Colombian, you're trafficking or stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's
We would never make drugs about cocaine here.
Even
in
when I
Expat.
go,
No.
right now, I don't need visa to go to Europe.
not at all.
But still, when you go to Germany, those guys are keeping an eye on
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Oh, Colombian.
Ah, Colombian.
Ah. Just
Yeah,
Let's-
Can you sniff
like,
me?
no, they go like a test.
the little
like,
test. Yeah.
they-
Bring the dog
like,
nearby
like-
to
like-
smell you. Yeah,
Put the
yeah.
dog next to your
Yeah.
bum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying, but I cannot blame.
That's
Yeah,
that's the
It's a problem with being high on cocaine.
Mhm.
paranoid.
Gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
So wait, sorry. Let's circle back to a second ago when you just said you were in Kyrgyzstan.
No,
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Okay, why were you there?
Yeah, I know
It's
there's
a Colombian just.
Surely that host family was a little better than the Minnesotan.
No. I didn't have a lot.
It was just like a fucking tiger.
I was working for. I was working for one international school, so they provide the accommodation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was working in Astana.
Were you
capital city.
were you teaching English or
Yeah,
Spanish?
English.
So
Yeah,
you just
funny
travel the world
English.
speaking
But
English.
I got my IB experience in Colombia, so they helped me out to get a job.
Oh, cool. So you've been
Teaching
English around the
everywhere.
world.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Right now, China and in Colombia. Well, in the States, I taught Spanish as
Okay.
a second language.
So you've been teaching your whole
Yeah, teaching
adult
English
life.
in America would be too
Yeah, I've
difficult.
been teaching for about 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, 12 years.
And a Colombian guy in China's got to be strange to the outsiders, people who don't live here, right?
Yeah, it's.
And even your family, were they like China?
Yes, on the other side.
How do you say China in
No,
Spanish?
they know.
Chine?
China.
Chine.
So
That-
like I get this a lot with Chinese people. They play to the stereotypes of you. So like if you say,
No.
"Oh, I'm from Chicago,"
No.
they'll tell you something about Chicago.
They don't know anything about.
And
They
you're
don't
like-
know anything about.
You're like,
it.
I'm from
Okay.
Kansas City. They're
That's
like,
good.
what's
though.
that?
That's good. They're the only place that doesn't know anything.
And Narcos, they didn't watch Narcos.
They don't have Netflix. They can't watch Narcos.
I was
They,
like, "Ooh."
they don't know what cocaine
They don't even
is.
have Wikipedia.
They don't know what cocaine is. They don't know who
No.
Pablo Escobar is.
Yeah, maybe in in big cities like Shanghai or Beijing.
But you're fine. Basically, you're fine.
But over here, like,
Yeah. Colombia.
I'm just some
The District of Colombia.
I'm just La Guay.
Yeah, exactly. You're white. That's enough, right? You say, I lived in America for a year. That would be good enough for them.
No, actually, in the States, I live in Minnesota and I live 1 year in North Carolina. So the the southern accent.
What's your favorite place in America?
So far,
Not Minnesota.
My favorite city was Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I love the city. Really
It's a big city, but it's got like kind of a brotherly love vibe. Friendly people. It's like
Friendly
New
people.
York. People bump into you.
Bump
Like,
in-
what the way? I'm walking.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
In
out of
Chicago, it's like, oh, cool shoes, man. For real. There's not like a big asshole
man.
population there.
Exactly.
I hear the pizza there sucks though, so I'm never gonna go.
The pizza is actually incredible. It's like a pie, right? Giordano's. Great.
Famous place in
I was
Chicago.
joking. I was pulling his leg because he's from Chicago.
Right. Yeah. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Chicago a little bit. Most of my family's from Kansas City. Have you ever been to KC? It's similar vibe, but a smaller, lesser.
It's pretty
known
shit.
place.
Don't go. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a flyover state.
It's no like Nebraska, right?
Oh, Nebraska. If you like corn and
hockey.
falling asleep,
What is the other place? Iowa.
Iowa.
Right.
Is just corn.
they're known for Slipknot and corn.
I always get Iowa and
well,
Ohio confused because they're both weird sounding names to me.
Right. A lot of.
Are they Native American?
Right.
Yeah.
Most of those Midwestern places are Native American.
Iowa, Indiana,
Chicago,
Indiana,
Even
Indiana,
Illinois,
Illinois,
the state.
South Dakota, North Dakota.
Mm-hmm. A lot of either Native American, Indian, or some Spanish, like Los Angeles and
Los
all the
Angeles,
southern.
Orlando.
Right. But did you ever go to any first of all, Hispanic and Latino. I think I know the difference. Do you?
Is there a difference? I thought they were the same.
Hispanic is Spanish.
Is a person that speaks Spanish as a first language.
That's just a language thing.
Exactly.
So someone from Brazil isn't Hispanic.
Latino is a person from Latin America.
So Brazilian isn't Hispanic.
No.
Is Latin
It's
America?
Portuguese. They speak Portuguese.
Just yes.
Yeah.
So that, but
they're Latin American, but they're not Hispanic.
are they here Portuguese?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have one expression.
Yeah, maybe.
That's weird though. Like Spain, this tiny country, England, this tiny country. If you got a navy at that time, you can conquer the world. But then you look at little baby Portugal. They're like, we'll take Brazil. Sure. Is that how that happened?
But it was mostly inhabited.
Uninhabited.
Sorry, that's right.
Because of the rainforest.
No,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Rainforest,
so like
exactly.
they could just carve out huge territory there.
Actually, like they found a tribe that didn't have any contact with white people, with Western people for
Get in that mic, son.
a long time. Like it was like 10, 15 years ago, and they were like,
Oh, yeah,
remember
recently.
that
Yeah,
picture?
yeah,
They were,
yeah.
like, throwing
Yeah.
arrows and stuff.
Was that in
Brazil. That was
Oh,
in
okay.
Brazil.
There's another one near India somewhere as well that's very similar. They're literally like shooting arrows at the helicopter as it goes past and stuff. Yeah. But like it's dangerous to go and visit them because they haven't had any of the vaccinations we've had and stuff like that. They would catch a common cold and possibly die. So we don't want to go and do that, right? That's what Spain did a long time ago.
They were like,
Exactly. Just things that we've survived in the past and people forget about, they would die from. So we got this wine. Can you translate it for us?
oh well, it's
So we've got a.
it's a product of Spain, right? Vino Leto. Vino semidulce is like semi-sweet.
Semi-sweet.
Like
So-
a little bit sweet.
Did you just translate semi-sweet?
A little
Wow,
bit
your
sweet.
English is good.
A little bit sweet. A little bit sweet.
After speaking to you for an hour in English.
Okay, this one is in English. You can read that. From La Mancha. Oh, that's cool.
Is it a? Do we need an opener? We got one. Do you want to do a speed sesh?
Yeah.
Speed round?
Go.
All right, so this is the portion where we ask random questions,
Oh,
and
alright.
you answer how you feel. If you enjoy the question, we talk about it for a second. If not, you just answer and we go on.
Okay, good.
Easy.
Yeah.
Right. All right, and Lee, if you have any random ones, just
Well, we'll
hop
just
in.
go. We'll go one for one. You go, I'll go.
You got some locked in,
Locked in, baby.
man. British people.
Didn't even write it down.
I'm messaging chicks. That's why I'm using my phone. Anyways, all right, speed round. Let's go. Netflix and chill or a night on the town?
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Just chill, watch a movie.
No. The expression. Netflix and chill.
Oh, you like the expression more than
Expression.
what about the
You know what-
physical action?
Okay, it's like a, it's like a we could check like
'Cause-
nice
'cause-
girl,
'cause-
like
'cause-
we got Netflix downstairs.
'Cause I got Netflix, yeah.
No.
And we do live in a
It's slang,
town.
but it's a slang. Netflix and chill. When like
Well,
you know
I'm
the
speaking like
This is a speed round, guys.
difference. Okay, now a night in town then.
night on the town.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Would you rather eat Mexican food or American food?
That's funny.
Define American food.
Like hamburgers and hot dogs?
I don't like the spicy food. I'm not from Mexico.
Okay.
Every single person they ask me, oh, so you like spicy food? I'm not from Mexico, sir.
Right.
So
So,
you go-
Colombian food's not so spicy.
No, it's not spicy at all. It's not spicy.
Sweet.
Sweet,
or
kind of salty. That's it.
vibrant.
Uh-huh.
I
so
would
you
imagine.
would go American food over Mexican?
American food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
All right. What's the acceptable amount of time on a first date to spend juggling?
To get something?
Good question.
Huh?
That was my next question.
You stole my question.
I would say
What?
maybe the third date. On
No,
the
no,
third date.
the first date. How much time? Like minutes or hours?
To get the whole thing or just
Juggling. You know, juggling. Throwing
I
things in
don't
the
know.
air and catching them.
If you don't know the answer,
an
that's
hour?
okay. It's a
An
stupid
hour?
question.
An hour?
An hour. Okay.
Wow.
So you're from the carnival,
Yeah.
Carnival region of.
I go straight to the point.
Okay. Right. So Colombians are straight shooters.
But anyways, we like dancing. So if you dance, it helps. You know,
Okay.
like let's dance. And then
You
like,
juggle
go
the
over. Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
So to speak.
Okay, so the
All
next
right,
one.
Lee.
Would you rather dance in the Brazilian carnival or sing karaoke in Chinese KTV?
Dance in their
Okay,
Carnival.
okay.
No, Rio. I would like to go to Rio. I've never been there.
Fair point. Spencer?
What do you think? Does the English alphabet does it have enough letters?
I didn't have any.
Huh?
Any. It's like the N with the
With
the mark. with
what's
the
that
mark.
little mark called?
It's like a mark. Any. It's like any. It's like a short mark.
Okay.
The sound N.
So we need two N's.
Yeah, but especially for the keyboard.
So 27 letters.
Yeah, the English keyboard is kind of confusing for me.
Okay. You gotta hold on to the N and then the
The
little
where's
N
the
pops
Oh,
up
damn.
with the.
My fingers kind of flying properly. You're
Right. I
typing.
love saying mañana.
Mañana.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that all the time.
Mañana or niño.
I say two, and I don't really
Niño,
know what it means.
Boy.
Tomorrow.
Well, but I know, but like mañana.
Right. Hey, mañana.
Mañana. Hey, mañana. Hey, tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay,
next
guys.
question. What's the worst country in the world?
Oh, I've never been there, but I guess it's Haiti.
Good call.
All right. That's
It's in
solid.
my top five.
It's in the top. Yeah. I feel like there's a connection between Colombia and Haiti historically.
Do they speak
I-
Spanish in Haiti?
No, I'm French.
Oh yeah,
French.
of course.
It's been totally
I'm thinking
butt
of Dominican
effed by
Republic.
every country
Yeah, yeah.
in the world. I feel like. All right. Let's see here. Zoos. A zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an interesting animal experience or an animal jail?
Every time.
Twice. That's the point. We got to get different answers from different cultures.
Okay, I guess animal experience.
All right.
Yeah.
So you hate animals. All right. Next
No,
question.
no. I don't hate animals, but I don't like zoos, to be honest. But if you have any chance to go to the jungle, but if they take care of those animals,
It
properly.
depends on how they take care of them.
Exactly.
Yes. So Chinese
now, for
zoos,
example, the
sad
zoo-
animal
yeah,
prison.
The zoo here in Jiangzhou is
It's
pretty-
sad.
it's
is
bleak.
sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that lion.
It's like my apartment.
I was like,
Next one.
Next.
White wine or red wine?
red wine.
Red wine. Okay. A follow-up question. White wine or cocaine?
White wine.
Okay. Okay.
Good question though.
Best decade for music. What's your favorite musical decade?
decade.
90s,
the
80s,
90s,
70s,
90s.
90s.
Mhm.
Band
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Mhm.
All right, so you like American films and music,
Mhm.
and Nirvana's in the top.
Yeah, Nirvana. It was my first rock band.
Right, you're
Yes.
like, wow, these
What's
guys,
your favorite
yeah.
these
song?
guys really
Nirvana
rock.
song?
Come As You Are.
Come As You Are is good.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
So we've had the worst country in the world. What's the best country in the world?
Good question. Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Why?
I like it.
Because they don't commit to
No,
anything.
I went to Zurich. I went to Zurich in March.
Teaching
my
English,
God.
of course,
No,
right?
no. I was traveling.
Okay.
I was traveling. One of my friends, he lives there. He got married with a Swiss girl.
Oh, okay.
You
must be
my God,
loaded.
so beautiful, and but it's expensive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's expensive. 20 euros.
So that Nazi
20
gold.
20 euros for one Big Mac.
Yeah, of course. It's not even the most expensive one in the world, though. The most expensive one is in Iceland.
Really?
You're paying like $30
Oh my gosh.
because they don't have any beef. They have to import all of their meat.
Okay, it makes sense, but
And it's far away from everything.
But no Switzerland.
That's true. That's true.
All right, next question. What's your favorite scene in Too Fast, Too Furious?
Which one's that? Is that Tokyo Drift?
I don't know.
Which one? The first one?
This
Too
is
Fast.
this
Too
is a
Furious.
test, deep test, psychological.
Too Fast and Too Furious. The second one.
Favorite scene?
It's in the name.
The second one. I didn't know Colombians were so bad at that.
There's two twos. Is that four?
That's true.
Fast and Furious was the first one. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get that one.
You can say no comment. It's fine.
As he's
Okay.
thinking. Oh.
Maybe when they got that.
You've seen the movie.
Drug dealer. I watched that one.
I don't
Give
think
it,
I've
lay
seen
it on me. We've got a bunch
Yeah,
of
but
fans.
it was fun because that guy was now Colombian, the drug dealer. He was Argentinian.
Oh, okay. So
So you're
Yeah.
thankful that
Yeah,
it wasn't a
okay.
Colombian drug lord.
every
for
time you
once.
watch a movie with like an evil drug lord,
Argentina. Yeah.
Where's
Great.
the next country you want to travel to? Country and or city.
I would like to go to Korea.
south or north
South.
or
South.
middle.
Good call. Good
South.
You can go to
South.
straight to the DMZ.
Yeah, but
Hey,
I guess
there's
it's
no
gonna be
military.
It's gonna be quiet, boring and unfriendly, I guess.
Right,
Like-
and just one line.
Yeah.
All right, South Korea because any reason? Or Asia? You like Asia or?
I like Asia, so I would like to try.
It's
like,
strange, right, to us Westerners.
I would like to try something like the opposite of China, like a little bit more like
Free.
not free, like developed. I
Oh,
guess.
developed,
Developed,
maybe
yeah.
westernized, maybe.
Westernized,
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I feel like Korea is so developed that it's basically.
I need to go to toilet for a little bit.
All right, yeah, go for it. Lee and I can carry this show. No problem.
So Spencer, zoo, is it animal prison or a fun time for the family?
Wow, what a horrible question. I hope Colombians urinate quickly. Zoos, it's a hard question because I love animals and I love to see new animals.
When you say new animals, what do you mean?
Animals that I've never seen in the flesh.
Okay, but you know what they are.
I know what they are, yes.
Don't you miss that wonder where you just like see something for the first time? Like as a kid, you're like, oh my god, what's this? It's a giant
you don't know how
thing with a
you don't know
a
how big it
nose.
is.
Yeah, right.
You don't know if the picture's made to scale.
Yeah. You don't know how bad it smells.
I miss that wonder in general.
Yeah. No,
Just-
about life in
Just
general.
being
You're right.
curious and optimistic about the world. I miss that for sure.
I think that's why people do drugs.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, that was quick.
We can cut this out. It's fine.
Yeah. This was the best part. All right, another speed round question.
This is yours, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
As a child, were you into dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we can carry this conversation on.
I like dinosaurs.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, I watched the movie.
I think
Jurassic Park.
every boy was at that in our
Right,
generation.
which is if he said no, it was we're done.
Yeah, it's like, all right, thanks for coming.
Exactly.
Velociraptors and T-Rex. That's everyone's favorite, right?
I remember the big one, Brontosaurus.
Yeah,
Brontosaurus,
Brontosaurus. Everyone
right.
loved that.
Vegetarian, but I'll let it slide.
But they were cool. They were cool.
Yeah.
Just chilling, like.
Yeah. They would be vegan, I guess, not. By
Follow-up question: did they have feathers?
Of course they did.
Are you a feather guy or lizard skin?
That sounds like an accusation more than a question.
I don't know.
I believe they had feathers. Jurassic Park is
All of them? All of them?
Yeah.
That's a good question
good
in my
question.
opinion.
Jurassic Park isn't scientific.
No.
It's Hollywood.
Hollywood.
I thought it was a documentary. My bad.
I mean,
Don't take it
No.
as a fact.
Next, you got one?
favorite flavor of ice cream.
Favorite what?
Flavor of ice cream.
Chocolate.
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 Standard go-to.
That's a pretty vanilla answer.
Well, it's not vanilla though, is it? The vanilla would have been the vanilla, right?
That's the joke. We're gonna find a new co-host soon.
Yeah. I need one.
All right, I got one more, and then we'll put a bow on this thing. If you were a football coach, soccer coach, hockey coach,
Ice hockey coach. If you were an
what's-
ice hockey coach.
what's your generic advice, motto for life?
Like an inspiring speech.
Like,
What do you think's important for?
have fun, and
I'm with you.
try to do your best, and
Have fun and do your best.
do your best, and I believe that we can make it.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Simple, to the point. Lee, you got anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
We good? Carlos,
Oh,
it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Gracias.
Right.
Gracias.
It was as fun as you didn't talk into the mic.
Sorry.
The
Sorry
same
about that.
level
Sorry
of
about
fun.
that. Sorry
No,
about
you were great.
that. Oh, thank you so much.
It's okay.
It was a pleasure learning about Colombia. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank
Cheers.
You for the invitation.
Cheers.
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 Pick up your
Salud.
wine. Pick up your wine. What are you doing? What
My
are
bad,
you doing?
my bad.
Faux
Uncultured
pas.
swine. Cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers to
Guys.
you.